Y'all are here reading the title, and it's time for us to talk about Wonder Woman and this whole topic. Like, I don't even know why this topic always goes viral every month, man. Like, I can't believe this is such a controversial take and a controversial, discussion among comic fans, which is the fact on if Wonder Woman is on a Mount Rushmore of superheroes. Like, I mean, y'all know what Mount Rushmores are, man, you know what I'm saying? Is a discussion of where you put the all-time greatest on that Mount Rushmore. Like, for example, wrestling, the WWE. When you have that Mount Rushmore, you will usually hear Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Rock, John Cena, Hulk Hogan, or The Undertaker, you know what I'm saying? For anime, you got Dragon Ball Z, you got Bleach, you got Naruto, then you got One Piece. Then for superheroes, you know what I'm saying? The all-time goats of superheroes. You have Superman, you have Batman, and you have Spider-Man. Those are the top three, you know what I'm saying? They're the top three dogs, and you know what I'm saying? All of them got that aura in them, you know what I'm saying? Superman is Superman is the most iconic superhero of all time. Batman has been the most popular superhero for decades, and Spider-Man is Marvel's, mascot and the most popular character and the only character from Marvel that can rival Superman and Batman in popularity. So those three, instantly the top three, you know what I'm saying? The top three Hall of Fame talents, you know what I'm saying? So who's number four? And number four has a lot of people always, get into these, discussions with each other. Sometimes the discussions even get super crazy, you know what I'm saying? Like when people talk about who is the fourth greatest superhero of all time that deserves to be on a Mount Rushmore alongside the Trinity known as Superman, Batman, and Spider-Man, you'll usually hear Wonder Woman, Wolverine, the Hulk, or the Flash. And now all these guys, they have amazing rep. Each one of these guys deserves to be on the Mount Rushmore, right? But when it comes to Wonder Woman, bro, everybody always be going crazy on her, bro. They be like, Wonder Woman is ass, bro. She hasn't done anything in years, bro. And I'm just like, damn, bro. Like, when did this disrespect for Wonder Woman come from, bro? Like, niggas be going crazy on her character, bro. Like, it's insane, man. And so in today's video, I want to talk about Wonder Woman and her being on a Mount Rushmore because she absolutely is the fourth most iconic superhero of all time. Like, I can't believe this is even a discussion, you know what I'm saying? She was created all the way back in 1941, during the era where the world was trying to see what was going to happen after World War II. They were doing all kinds of things to make sure that, they could get great things happening during that time period, because that time period was crazy. The world was at conflict, people were dying, and one of the major things that was happening around that time was a renaissance of comic book characters, superheroes, which came in the golden age of comics, you know what I'm saying? You got Superman in 1938, Batman in 1939, The Flash, Jay Garrick in 1940. Then in 1941, you had a whole bunch of major heroes that came out in that year. You had Captain America, you had the original Captain Marvel before he became Shazam, Billy Batson, you had Aquaman, and you had Wonder Woman. Diana was she was so different compared to all the other characters of that time period, or I should say, all the major superheroes of that time period, because of the fact that she was a female superhero. You know what I'm saying? That was kind of unheard of back then. Like, you had Black Canary, Diana Drake, but she was in a minor role. You had the original Hawk Girl, but in a minor role. Then came Wonder Woman, you know what I'm saying? This huge female character that just changed the landscape of comics forever, you know what I'm saying? It was just her design, everything, you know what I'm saying? And the fact that she was one of the first female characters that had their own major storyline happening around that time period. With her creation, a lot of stuff happened. She became a founding member of the JSA. Then flash forward to the 50s, the Silver Age, when Barry Allen, introduced the Silver Age, this iconic creation in 1956. Diana came back alongside the Trinity, Batman and Superman, and they became founding members of the Justice League. And since then, Diana's been a huge part of pop culture, her appearing in many animated features like the cartoons that were coming out around that time period in the 70s when Linda Carter brought her to life. She's had a tremendous impact on pop culture, and so it just makes me wonder, why do folks these days clown on Diana so hard? Why is it that when folks try to argue for her to be on the Mount Rushmore, niggas always say, no, it's Wolverine, no, it's the Hulk, no, it's the Flash? Like, damn, bro, Diana is the first female superhero. She's part of the Trinity. She's up there with Superman and Batman when it comes to the importance of comic book characters. She's the first of her lineage when it comes to, a female character, changing the landscape for comic books, and not just comic books, for pop culture too, because with her, we got all kinds of other female superheroes that would come down later down the road. We got, We got the X-Men characters like Jean Grey in 1963. We had the Wasp in 1963. We had Black Widow, you know what I'm saying, Huntress, all these female characters that came right after her. And not just that, bruh, it's not even just in the comic book landscape. It's in other adaptations. It's like in other, you know, genres too, like anime. Sailor Moon, for example, is heavily inspired by Diana. It's not even just her, bro. Like, there's so many things I can name, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Invincible has their own ripoff of Diana. You know what I'm saying? Marvel has like 3 or 4 ripoffs of Diana. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's crazy how folks try to downplay Diana these days. Like, I know, you know what I'm saying, Gal Gadot, you know what I'm saying, she really cooked Diana's rep in live action form because of what the actress is all about outside of playing the character, you know what I'm saying? And the fact that many people like the first movie, right? But the second movie, god damn, the second movie, bro. The second movie had niggas fighting for their lives on whether or not they should, like, you know, continue, you know, supporting the DCEU. Because I'm not gonna lie, Wonder Woman 1984 was hot trash, bro. Cheetah, all the characters, man, I just didn't like that movie, man. And then not even just that, bro. The fact that Diana had her video game canceled earlier this year, or was it last year? I don't remember, bro. But she was getting ready to have a video game, you know what I'm saying? That would have changed the landscape for Diana, I feel like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and then not just that, not just her video game getting canceled, but her being the only character in that god awful Suicide Squad game of the members of Justice League that actually died. You know what I'm saying? Like, they killed her out of anybody, man. Like, all of this now, I feel like people are starting to clown on Diana. Like, yo, she's not part of Mount Rushmore, but she is, bruh. You can go to anybody on the street, right? Ask them who Diana is. They're gonna tell you who she is because all these people that, you know, that fans mention that should be on the Mount Rushmore before her, I always have like a puzzling look, you know what I'm saying? That look that Speed be giving people, you know what I'm saying, in all of his clips. Like, are you kidding me? Like, I saw a lot of people saying Iron Man. I'm like, bro, Iron Man, are you dead ass, bro? Iron Man, the man that was a B tier list character before the MCU, you know what I'm saying? Like, I get it. The MCU made Iron Man it made him a household name in pop culture, but Iron Man is nowhere near close to Diana and what she's done for the comic book industry and pop culture as a whole, bro. It took Iron Man getting into live action for people to start caring about him, you know what I'm saying? In the 80s, the 90s, no one gave a F about this man, you know what I'm saying? And then even the 2000s, when he was one of the headliners during the Civil War storyline, it still took a lot of time for people to really start caring about Iron Man. It wasn't until his movie and then the Avengers movies coming out during the 2010s that folks really started caring about Iron Man. And then there's the Hulk. The Hulk, now I can see him having an argument against Diana on that fourth, you know, Mount Rushmore, because the Hulk, he was him in the 2000s, you know what I'm saying? You could go anywhere. His merchandise was everywhere, bro. He had video games, movies, cartoons. He was in everything, the X-Men cartoons, everything. So the Hulk, I can see him having an argument against Diana. The Flash, bro, the thing with the Flash is that if you try to solo the character on one identity, like Jay Garrick, Barry, or Wally, then it's not even an argument because Diana is more iconic than all the 3 Flashes, you know what I'm saying? But if you put them as the character, the Flash character with no identity to it, then I can understand that. But even then, Diana is more, you know, significant to, you know, comics history as a whole than the Flash as a character. Like, I know the Flash, he introduced the Silver Age through Barry Allen. Jay Garrick was one of the first, you know, comic book characters that came out during the World War II time. And then Wally West, he was that first legacy character that really changed the landscape of how a sidekick can fulfill the main character's role and become even better than the 2 predecessors. You know what I'm saying? So all 3 of them, well, and then I forgot Bart, but Bart, he didn't really do anything, you know what I'm saying? Like, he did more stuff as Impulse than as the Flash, which sucks because I really wanted him to be the Flash and see what he can do, but they cooked that man's time as the Flash, you know? But Diana, though, like, I feel like she is, just because of the fact that she's part of the Trinity, you know what I'm saying? She's recognized as a real ambassador in the world, you know what I'm saying? Like, she's recognized as an ambassador, you know what I'm saying? She's had many live-action versions of herself through Linda Carter and the controversial Gal Gadot, you know what I'm saying? Like, she's had movies, even though the second one was ass, you know what I'm saying? She's appeared in countless medias. She's had countless ripoffs of her, and not just DC, but in Marvel, anime. Like, she's inspired so many people, dude. And even through not just her character, but her actresses, you know what I'm saying? Her actresses have changed the lives of many people. And now that leads me to Wolverine. Now, Wolverine too, bro. Wolverine is like the #1 person that I see folks really like You know, they have him going up against Diana all the time. Like, no, it should be Wolverine. It should be Wolverine. It should be Wolverine. Like, I get it, bro. Wolverine, like, I can't even deny it, bro, because he's one of my childhood characters. You know what I'm saying? He is immensely popular. Like, when you talk about the X-Men, he is the face of the X-Men. Even though, you know, Cyclops fanboys, you know, they don't want to hear it, but it's been like that since like the 90s, you know what I'm saying? And really, and I wouldn't even say since the 90s, ever since the movies, the live action movies, when they started to center it around Logan as opposed to Scott. That's how niggas knew that, okay, this is Logan's show, even though it really shouldn't be. It should be all the X-Men show, but it's Logan's show because he just became way more popular than everybody else because he was this, like, you know, he was this character that was a hero, but he wasn't afraid to take it to that next level, you know what I'm saying? And the iconic designs he's had over the years, like the brown suit, you know what I'm saying? His first appearance when he faced off against the Hulk in 1974, like he's had many iconic designs, you know what I'm saying? The storylines, him having history with other characters like Captain America and Namor, all these guys, you know what I'm saying? So I can never understand why people pit him against Diana, but I feel like Diana still has the edge over Logan because of the fact that she's a member of the Trinity and the fact that it wasn't until these Marvel characters started getting, you know, live action adaptations that they really started caring about these guys. Because remember, bruh, in the 90s, the 2000s, bruh, DC was on top, bruh. They were whooping Marvel when it came to who was more recognizable. Like even now, you know what I'm saying? When you look at celebrities who they're cosplaying as more, you see them go go towards, you know, DC characters more. Like look at Speed, for example. He cosplayed the Black Flash. I was surprised about that. I'm like, okay, homie might be a Mark Waid fan or a Flash fan if he, you know, if he's cosplaying Black Flash out of everybody, you know what I'm saying? And then Sabrina Carpenter, one of the most recognizable faces and artists right now, she was Wonder Woman. She was in Scarlet Witch. She was in Gamora. She was in She-Hulk. She was in Black Canary, Supergirl. She went for Diana. So that just tells you that even though folks like to clown on Diana a lot, she's still recognizable. And I feel like she is the fourth most iconic superhero in the world because of the fact that she's been around for so long. 1941, you know what I'm saying? She's had an impact on other characters, man. So many characters were influenced by her. Anime characters alike, all kinds of stuff, you know what I'm saying? She's had many adaptations, man. Animated movies, you know, she hasn't had an animated cartoon, which sucks. She like I really wish she had an animated series like Batman and Superman did in the 90s. That would have slapped so hard. Her Rose Gallery is massively underrated, man. Besides Cheetah and Giganta, she has, you know, Dr. Psycho. She has Silver Swan. She has all kinds of characters, man. Like so many villains from her Rose Gallery that needs to be talked about more, man. But you guys let me know your thoughts on this, bruh. Do y'all think that Diana is the fourth most iconic superhero and deserves to be on the Mount Rushmore? Let me know down in the comments below, like, because this topic, bro, it always goes viral, and I'm just like, bro, y'all stop downplaying Diana, bro. Like, I get it, you know what I'm saying? There's a difference between popularity and who's iconic. Like, sure, Wolverine is probably more iconic than her during these days because of the fact that it's Wolverine, you know what I'm saying? But Diana is definitely the more iconic character out of the two. Like, there's no debate about that, bro. She's been around longer. You know what I'm saying? She has the stories to prove it, man. She's a founding member of the Justice League, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think there's ever been a version of the Justice League that didn't have a Wonder Woman on it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know when the Justice League first came out, it was 5 members. They excluded, or was it 5? Yeah, it was 5 members. They excluded Superman and Batman, but Diana was on there. And then when Diana was briefly gone in the 90s, you know what I'm saying? It was her mother, Hippolyta, that took her place briefly during that time period. But even then, bruh, there's always been a Wonder Woman in like countless DC products. So she's iconic and she deserves to be talked about when it comes to who is on the Mount Rushmore of superheroes because she's her, bruh. She is her. But yeah, guys, if y'all enjoyed this, yeah, consider hitting the like button, subscribe to the channel, and I'll catch y'all for the next video. Amasyaps out.